Hello, my dear friends. Today we are going to start the next point in the unit number 3, that is larvivorous fishes. So first of all, we will discuss the what is larvivorous fish, what is their characteristics, and some indigenous and exotic fishes uh, as the characteristics of larvivorous fishes. Okay, so larvivorous fish are those that feed on immature stages of mosquitoes, that is the larval stage of the mosquitoes. Okay, and we know the biological control of pests and vectors is now recognized as an effective tool for check on vector populations without any harmful effect on the human system. Mosquito control can be done by using larvicidal fishes. Okay, so we know the exact role of this larvicidal fish, that it control what it control the mosquito population. Okay, and by controlling the mosquito population we can reduce the diseases of means the diseases which are spread by the mosquitoes. Okay, so later on we will discuss the characteristics of larvicidal fishes, which type of characteristics should be there, or when we select the fishes, so some characteristic is there. So first, the fish should be small in size. Whatever the fish we have selected for the larvicidal fish, it should be small in size. It can move freely in shallow waters among the weeds. That's why we select the fish that are small in size. Then later on, it should be hardy one. Their nature is hardy one, and so that it can survive both in the shallow as well as in a deep water also. These are the two important characteristics of this larvicidal fishes. Then it should be able to breed freely in a confined water bodies. Okay, so the fish we have selected for this larvicidal fishes, so this fish is able to breed freely in a confined water bodies. Okay, means their population is freely increases in the, it should be increases in the water bodies. Okay, and next character is the, it should be hardy enough to stand transport and handling the stress. This character is very important because we know the number of fishes, they are in stress, they are die because of this transportation, because of the stress during the transportation. So when we select the fish for the larvicidal fishes, so it should be hardy enough to stand the transport and the handling stress. Okay, and another character is the, it should be difficult to catch and it able to accept the natural enemies, whatever the natural enemies present in the water body in the form of fishes or in the form of other aquatic organisms. So they can able to escape the from their natural enemies. So these are the some characteristics. Again, the most important characteristics for this larvicidal fish is it should be carnivorous. We know because it feeds on the larvae of the mosquito. So it should be carnivorous. Then again it should be voracious. It means it should be continuous eating the larvae of the particular mosquitoes. Okay, so it should be a voracious eater, and preferably these type of fishes should be a we can say the surface feeder fish is selected for this larvicidal fish. Okay, because the larva of the particular mosquito or the other type of insects, they are living on the surface area of the water bodies. So it should be, when we it should be noted that when we select these type of fishes, at that time you should check that these are preferably surface feeder fishes. Okay, now the next and very important criteria is the, it should able to survive in a very low oxygen, we can say the oxygen efficient dirty water also they can survive. So that type of fish should be selected for this larvicidal fishes. Okay, and lastly, these larvicidal fish should be absolutely worthless and insignificant as human food, so as not to be killed to consume. Means no any humankind is depend on this fish, because these fishes are size is very small, and these should be not used by the human being for as their eating purpose. Okay, and a fish with this we have just discussed these characteristics. Some characteristics is considered as ideal larvicidal fish and can be used as substitute of insecticidal, control of mosquito and other aquatic breeding vector of diseases. We know the number of diseases they are spread by these mosquitoes, so we know the prevention is better than cure. So if we are able to check the population of larvae in the water bodies, so after that the population of mosquitoes decreases, and simultaneously the diseases which are spread by this vector, which is called mosquito, is not that disease decreases. Okay, so again there are number of exotic and indigenous species of fish which at one stage or other feed on mosquito larvae. So these are some we know the exotic fishes that are imported from other countries in our India. So the Chenophyton idealized, they are Levistus species, and the Gambusia finis. These are some three exotic species which are used as the larvicidal fish. Whereas in indigenous species, we have number of indigenous species, including the belonging to the genera Rhodopterus, Oxygaster, Luvaca, Barilius, Rasbora, Danio, Isomus, Puntius, Volacoatu, then Aplochelius, Orgias, Oratius, Aphanius, Channa, we know the Channa species. Okay, so the Colysa, Micropodus, Atroplus veratinius, then Anabas, Mugil, then the Mugil fish, the young one is you prepare as a larvicidal fish, and the Ambasis, Therapine, Badis, Glossogobis, these are some indigenous species which are used as a larvicidal fish in our area. So from the viewpoint of mosquitocidal activity, the above stated and other probable larvicidal fishes have been classified by the Hora and the Mukherjee in 1953 into the following groups according to their efficiency in mosquito control. How it control the mosquito, how it in which manner it control the mosquito. So according to their efficiency, it can be classified as follows. Number one is typical surface feeders such as the Apollochelis and the Gambusia, which are the most suitable mosquito fish satisfying the prescribed requirements. Means whatever the requirement we have for the larvicidal fish, these fishes, the Apollochelis and the Gambusia, these fishes they satisfy the prescribed requirements. Okay, and those number two is those which are surface feeder but are less efficient owing to mode of life. For example, the Orizius, Levistus, then the Aphanius and the Horatius. And number third is the subsurface feeder, including the Ambliphagon, Danio, Rasbora, Isomus and the Caraceus. These are the larvicidal to considerable extent. And the number four is the column feeder. For example, we know the Puntius, Senda, then the Colysa, Anabas, Badis, Theropon, Jerba, which feeds on mosquito larvae when they have a chance permits. Okay. And from the standpoint of their relative utility as a larvicidal fishes, the exotic species, for example, the Gambusia finis, I will show you the image of this Gambusia finis, the bear and the girard, and the Levistus reticulus belonging to the family Poecidae, and the indigenous form, for example, the Apollochelis limitum and Apollochelis panchax, Orizius melangostima and the Aphanius disper belonging to the family Cyprinodontidae constitute the most important forms as far as the larvicidal fish is concerned. And for this mosquito control, these the larvivorous fish should be introduced into a water body, preferably after the clearing any dense surface vegetation and removing predatory fish so as to allow the larvicidal fish to propagate itself. We know the management practice we have in the fish farming. We know the nursery, then the rearing and the stocking pond management. So all these management, for example, these clearing of the surface vegetation or the removing of this predatory type of fishes. So this management should be done before the fish is introduced into the water body. So the breeding of this mosquito is generally confined to a narrow strip of water about 22.5 centimeter wide adjoining the bank. So the most suitable stocking ratio of this Apollocheris panchax for the effective mosquito control has been found to be 3 fish, that is 2 adults and 1 young one. So per 9 to 9 centimeter square of the breeding area of this mosquito. Wherever the mosquito breeding area is there, so I have to put these Apollocheris panchax in, we can say the ratio 3 fish, that is 2 adult and 1 young fish. Okay, and if when more than one species of fish are stocked, the ratio of adult to young in case of each species may be less than the above mentioned. Okay, now the species of small size which feed on mosquito larvae throughout their life and also breed profusely are of greatest value as larvicidal fishes. We know the larvicidal fish that feeds continuously throughout its life and it can breed profusely, that they are greatest value as larvicidal fishes than the larger size species. Okay, so the several species, both the indigenous and exotic, feed on mosquito larvae at one or other stage of their life and can be considered larvicidal fish. So the relatively utility of this larvicidal fishes of the three of the three exotic species mentioned above, the Gambusia affinis, we can see this in this picture, the Gambusia affinis, called the top minnow, has been widely used for the mosquito control in several countries including our nation, that is India. So we can just see in this picture the exotic larvivorous fish A and B, the Gambusia affinis. The above is the A is the male and later on the B is the female of this Gambusia affinis. So this species was brought to India in 1931 from the Italy and has proved to be very useful in malarial control. We know the malaria is very destructive disease and this can spread by the mosquito. So for the controlling of this malaria, India have brought this fish from the Italy in 1931. Okay, and it is really a voracious fish and their nature is very destructive in nature. Okay, now the indigenous larvivorous fish, we just move towards the indigenous larvivorous fishes. Several indigenous fishes are good larvicidal species and are used for the controlling the population of the mosquitoes. So you can see in this picture, this is the oxygaster. It is commonly called as chalhawa, of which several species are found in rivers and ponds and are valuable in mosquito control also. So that's why these species are preferable as a larvivorous fish. So the smaller species feed on mosquito larvae throughout their life. They are surface feeders and the mouth is turned upward as an adaptation. You can see this picture, their mouth is turned upward as an adaptation, and the larger species of this oxygaster are used as food also. The commonest species are Oxygaster bacilla and Oxygaster gora. Okay, now the next species is the Isomus. This is the again the indigenous larvivorous fish. Okay, so this fish, this photo is taken by me from internet. That is the photo credit to the Balram Mahaldar. Okay, so Isomus is a very small sized fish. It is commonly used in aquaria. Okay, and it is found in shallow ponds, tanks, paddy fields and ditches, and it breeds profusely in the confined water. That's why this fish is used as a larvivorous fish. We have just discussed the characteristics of larvivorous fishes. So one of the characteristic is it should be breed profusely in the confined water. So this fish is profusely breed in the confined water. Okay, so it feeds on the eggs and the larvae, and it can be used on large scale for the malaria control. So it has no food value, that's why it is very important fish as a larvivorous fish. So the common species is Isomus denericus is widely distributed. Okay, below this Isomus, the third species is Puntius. These several species are found in the ponds, lakes and other water bodies. For example, this Puntius ticto, Puntius sopharo, Puntius chola, Puntius concinus, etc. are called carp minnows. These fish are called carp minnows and feeding on eggs and larvae. So they are hardy fish which can withstand unfavorable conditions for long periods and can be easily transported. That's why these fish is, we can say, this fully satisfied the characteristics of this larvivorous fish. Okay, so these fishes breed in a confined water and is being small size have a little food value. So these fishes are very useful for the mosquito control. Okay, now the next is the Barillus. So these several species of Barillus in Barillus vagara, Barillus bendalicis, they are found in hill streams. Hill stream fishes, they are hill stream fishes and they are omnivorous, prefer larvae and are of small size again, and they are considered good larvicidal fish in the hill stream area. Okay, now the Rasbora duniconius. So this species has been wide distribution and is a good larvicidal fish. However, it can be used only in areas where it is abundantly found, where their population is very high. That place it should be used. Okay, then the Laubuca, the third species, sixth species in the picture third. The two species are found, both of which are larvivorous, including the Chela labuca. Okay, so however this species is delicate one and is not suitable for transport to long distance. No doubt, you can say this the picture of this labuca. This is the very delicate species and it is not suitable for the transport of long distances. Okay, so this fish is widely distributed in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, Bengal and the Assam region. Okay, now the Aplochelis panchax, this one. This is the important larvivorous fish and called top minnow of the India. It is very hardy fish occurring throughout the country and lives both in fresh as well as brackish water. And Aplochelis lineatus is another useful species used for the larvicidal, or we can say the larvivorous, used as a larvivorous fish. Now the next is the Oraceus. You can say this picture, the male and female. The species is also very useful larvicidal fish, which is closely allied to the Aplochelis, but it is a delicate one and hence it cannot be transported to long distances. So side above male, below female. So you can say this side above, this is the male and this is the female. Okay, the next species is this one, the Colysa fasciatus. It is again a beautifully colored hardy fish of a small size. It breeds in ponds and ditches in confined water and is useful larvivorous species. So it has some food value also. Okay, now the relative efficiency. So we have just discussed the exotic species of larvivorous fish as well as the indigenous species of the fishes we have discussed just now. The relatively efficiency, these larvicidal species, the larvicidal species can be divided into 6 groups on the basis of their efficiency in mosquito control. How they take, or how their percentage of taking the mosquito larvae in their diet. So group 1, they are highly efficient. So these 6 groups, they are given by the Jacob in 1953. So the group first is the highly efficient species as Aplochelis and the Gambusia, which can be controlled mosquito fish, which can be called, that's why these Aplochelis or the Gambusia is called mosquito fish. Then the group second, species which are surface feeders and eat mosquito larvae but are less efficient than the mosquito fish of group 1. Example is Levistus, Affinis and Oraceus. Group 3 is species which are of small size, subsurface feeders, and are larvicidal to a great extent. For example, the Danio, the Rasbora, Isomus, Amphiphodon, and the Cariceus. Group 4, these fishes that feeds on larvae when available. When these larvae is available, they are particular fishes, they take the larvae in their diet and are column feeders. So these are the Puntius, Anabas, Chanda, Colaisa, the macropods. Group 5th is the common carps and other species which who fry feed on larvae. Whose fry? I mean, for example, we know these adult fishes, they are economically useful food fishes, but when they are fry, at that time they preferable some mosquito larvae in their diet. So example is Labio is there, Catla, Crinus, and the usual species is there. Okay. Now the group 6, it is the carnivorous and the predatory fishes whose fry feed on mosquito larvae, as the Volaguatu, Mr. Singala, Channa, the Leptopterus, and the others feeds on smaller fishes and are harmful also. Okay. Now we have discussed today the what is meant by larvivorous fishes, what is their characteristics, means which character they should have to select these species for as a larvivorous. Then we have discussed the exotic as well as the indigenous larvivorous fishes found in our India. Now the most important point in this unit is the role of these larvivorous fishes in relation to public health. Why this should be taken in our syllabus? Because these fishes, however, play a very crucial role in the public health is concerned. So how it? So here, the biological control of insect means the destruction of insect by their natural enemies. So the fish, the larvivorous fish here act as a natural enemy of the mosquito, and it control the population of the mosquitoes which spread the diseases. Okay, so it is regarded as one of the most potent tool to control the insect, especially the mosquitoes, without causing any harmful effect on human health, food chain, and the environment. Because of this presence of this larvivorous fish in the water body, there is no harmful effect on human health, there is no harmful effect to the food chain as well as to the environment. So it is very important, it is very we can see the most potent tool to control the insects. Okay, now the eggs, larva, pupa, and adult mosquitoes provided ideal food for fish fry, fingerlings, and many adult species. So the small size carnivorous fishes especially prefer mosquito larvae throughout their life. So this is very important aspect. Now these larvicidal fishes are important tool for what? For the biological control of mosquito population, and we know the mosquitoes, they act as a vector, they transmitting the several diseases to the human beings from the reservoir organisms. So important and serious diseases we know the malaria, filaria, dengue, yellow fever, Japanese bee encephalitis, and others are being transmitted through the mosquitoes. So it can be checked because of this larvicidal fishes. This type of diseases, they are not spread, because if we are destructing the mosquito before they converted into adult, that is the larval stage, so the population of mosquito is in check, and the several diseases which are spread by this mosquito is not means it is very useful to the human beings as they stop the population of the mosquito. Okay, now this larvicidal fish, by consuming this mosquito larva, help in reducing the population of vectors, thereby minimize the occurrence of mosquito-borne diseases. Very important, because we know the several countries, several states, they are in trouble because of this malaria and other diseases which are spread by the mosquito. So by reducing the population of these vectors, they play a very crucial role by this larvicidal fishes. And the guinea worm can also be checked by the introduction of the cycloporous fishes like ambasis, in order to cut down the population of cyclops, which is an intermediate host for the worm, and the gastropods and the lamellibranches, which serve as a carrier for the parasites, the gastropods and the lamellibranch, and especially for the animals of human food value. It can also be directly checked, as larvicidal fishes may feed on their larvae and young forms. So this is nothing but the the role of larvivorous fishes in relation to public health. It is very important role they play as far as our human health is concerned. So this is the larvivorous fishes and the role. We have just discussed the what is meant by larvivorous fish, then the indigenous, then exotic species. Okay, so I have stopped here. We'll discuss the next in our next lecture. Till then, thank you.